Hello, everyone. Once again, this is Dare to Speak. I just want to pretty much elaborate a little bit more on what I didn't mention in my last video. I've been getting a lot of hate comments. I call them like YouTube trolls, I guess you want to call them, or whatever. And of course, they were saying a bunch of hateful and mean things to me, which is, I deleted some of them because, they were pretty much stupid. The thing is, one thing that I think two people have said to me so far, labeling these protesters and the ones who've been doing all the riots, um, the looting and stuff like that, being labeled as being evil and stuff like that, calling them, even going as far as to call them terrorists, like domestic terrorists, if you want to call them that, and being like anti-American or something like that. That they're giving this country a bad name and all this kind of other type of crazy accusations, and even going as far as to call them communists, which is like one of the most stupidest things you can even. If someone doesn't like America, this so-called great country kind of thing, if someone doesn't like America, it doesn't make them a communist. It's nothing. There's nothing wrong with capitalism, but there is a lot wrong with corruption. And people are just getting the wrong idea of what capitalism and communism really is. That's the thing. Everybody is getting the wrong idea about that. The way capitalism is now is pretty much just taken advantage of. There's people out there in politics that are just basically taking advantage of the idea of capitalism, and for their own personal agenda. They're just like any corrupted politician. And as far as communism, is not as evil as many people make it out to be. I'm not saying that communism is great. I'm not saying that. It does have its issues as well. Socialism, communism, they all have their issues, but they're not exactly evil, or like the way we're led to believe. And to call these protesters, terrorists, they're like the scum of the earth kind of thing. Liberals are not terrorists, plain and simple. I do agree that the looting and burning down businesses and their irrational expression of anger. That's basically what they're doing. They're expressing their anger. If you want to learn from history, when blacks were being mistreated, they went to a civil unrest. I'm sorry, a civil unrest. And then they started to riot. A lot of them looted. A lot of them started to burn down buildings and businesses and stuff like that. And they were causing all this type of chaos. They were just expressing their anger of how they were being treated. A black man got killed, and then to make matters worse, later on, Martin Luther King got assassinated. I mean, what the fuck do you expect? You're gonna have civil unrest. You're gonna have people going into a rage and just basically rebelling. So that's why the Watts riots were so bad, and the police had to come in and take care of the problem, which they didn't do that much of a good job as far as doing what they're supposed to do. A lot of people think that what they did was justified, but it wasn't. And it's really no different how it is with this too. Now, like with the Rodney King incident in the early 90s, I don't blame the people for getting angry and causing chaos. However, it was excessive. Some of them were pulling out white people from their cars and from their trucks and beating the crap out of them, and that is fucking stupid. It is. And there was a lot of punks, a lot of ghetto trash people that were just pretty much acting stupid and beating up innocent people. That I would agree was wrong. It was very stupid. However, there was a lot of them that were just so angry at what was happening. The only bad thing was it was a mixture. There was there was this one lady that was crying, saying, she's ashamed of her own people because they're looting and they're just taking advantage of the whole situation. They're like opportunists. They didn't really care about the civil unrest and the whole riots thing out of the anger. They didn't care about Rodney King. They didn't care about him. All they cared about was seeking an opportunity to go and steal things from stores, from businesses because there was so much chaos. They were looting because of that. And she said, "I'm ashamed of my own people," and she was wiping her tears away. And that was really terrible. That was really bad. I felt bad for her. I felt bad for everything that was happening. But not all of them were actually bad. They were just a mixture of good and bad people. When people riot, when there's protesters, not all of them are going to be, patriotic and, the way they're supposed to be. Not all of them are going to be that way. So they are going to have some elements of opportunists just seeking fun, just to cause trouble, to be punks. Yeah, there is going to be that way. And I'm pretty sure in Kenosha, there were some people like that. But to say that all of them are evil, that all of them are these terrorists, they don't care about America, they hate America, they just hate the corrupted police. They were just rebelling against the corrupt system. The system is corrupted, and they were just reacting in anger. And then that's why they were behaving that way, most of them. And of course, it was just mixed in with the bad element. And of course, even though some of these people that got shot, I guess all of them or whatever, they may have a criminal record. Some of them may have like a background, a rap sheet. Okay, I understand that. If that's true, I'm pretty sure it is. I just saw some information that was pertaining to it. But that doesn't justify them getting shot and killed. It doesn't justify that. It doesn't justify, even though that guy did wrong for trying to pull out a gun, but it doesn't justify blowing off a limb, blowing off his arm. It doesn't justify that. I could understand that Kyle Rittenhouse was trying to defend himself. I understand that. But he could have shot him somewhere else. You could have shot him in his hip. You could have shot him shot at the ground, or shot, make a few shots up in the air close to him to scare him off, as a way of saying, "Back off," and then firing a few shots. And believe me, that guy would not even bother to raise his gun. He would have gotten like, "Oh my God," and just step back and just take off running. Not only did he shoot him, but he was proud of it. And people were making jokes about that guy, that he's going to have one arm. And they were saying all this type of sarcastic remarks to him. I mean, there's no need for that type of stupidity. Furthermore, these gun militia type people, I could just tell from their attitude that they're trying to make themselves look like this patriotic, we love our country, we want to protect her, whatever, and this and that. We want to protect our property. We want to protect our people. These, which means the people that love this country. I mean, right-wing extremists are a lot worse. Trust me, they are. Left-wingers, they do have their issues, and there's some that have serious issues. They take things too far. That's why I don't care for either side. I don't care for Republicans or Democrats, really. I'm not really too I'm not really too happy with either one. The thing that you have to bear in mind is this. When you do some kind of injustice, when a man is shot in the back 7 times, this Jacob Blake who was shot in the back, you know that that was excessive. One shot would have been enough. Maybe 2 shots, maybe. But unloading 7 rounds into his back was extremely excessive. There was really no need for that. And you know that's going to cause a lot of chaos and rioting and protesting. But don't look at these people as being terrorists. That's the wrong label to even call them. That's the wrong thing you want to call them. It was an irrational act, which some of them were doing. But the protest and the anger that they were doing and throwing Molotov cocktails to cause fires and this and that, I mean, it's understandable. I mean, it's still wrong, but it's understandable. But don't call these people terrorists because they're not terrorists. And liberals don't hate America. You need to stop with that stupid bullshit. Liberals don't hate America. They just hate the corrupted system in America. Plain and simple. I mean, how hard is that to get through your thick head? They just don't like the system. They have nothing against this country, just like I don't. I just have issues with the system, that's all. Because it's corrupted, and that's pretty much sums it up right there. They're not terrorists. These people are not terrorists. Please don't call them, communist scumbags or whatever like that. I mean, at least communists don't believe in God, which is a good thing. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you hate this video, give it a thumbs down. Questions or comments, you know what to do. This is Dare to Speak. And to all of you, take care.